my slips, my falls, my trials and tribulations, my heart, my balls, my somebody stop me, somebody come and get me. Little did I know that the Lord was riding with me. The dark, the light, my heart, the fight, the wrong, the right is gone.
Welcome back, people, to another JVS movie review. This time we are bringing you from the Middleburg Film Festival our review of A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, the Mr. Rogers film that everybody thought they were waiting for, and it's going to turn out most people did not want to wait for this film, not because it's a bad movie, but other reasons. We're going to get into that. So, Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, starring Tom Hanks, Matthew Rhys, who else is in this? Christopher Cooper's in it, and my girl Susan Watson from This Is Us fame. So she normally has me crying week to week here, so I came prepared for this Mr. Rogers movie. The reason why I say some people are going to be disappointed with this movie, before I give you the synopsis of this movie and what happens in this story, let me forewarn you. This is named A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. This has been promoted as a movie about Mr. Rogers. This is a movie where Mr. Rogers is a supporting character in it. Let that sink in, so you will not be as mad as I was as I sat through this, wishing I would get something around the way the documentary that was released on Mr. Rogers was last year about his life. Instead, we get Mr. Rogers as a supporting character. I would call him something else, but if Mr. Rogers was black, it would be another name I would use for him being a supporting character in this movie. But I'm not going to say that. Here's the synopsis of it. A cynical, award-winning journalist, Lloyd Vogel, begrudgingly accepts an assignment to write an Esquire profile on the beloved television icon Fred Rogers. Vogel's perspective on life is transformed after his encounter with Mr. Rogers. So, people, you just heard what the issue is. So, the whole movie, it's literally about Lloyd Vogel, who's played by Matthew Rhys. He's the lead character in this movie. Granted, we're going to see things come out. You're going to see an Oscar campaign around this movie.
I could not find the answer to your question.
Why is Mr. Rogers' movie that way? So even my watch can't answer the question of why Mr. Rogers' movie is that way, because I asked it too. That's the problem here. You're doing a movie about Mr. Rogers, and yet he's a supporting character of someone who you don't care even in the slightest about. Like, the story is good. Let me give you positives here. The story is good. Really good story. The performances are really good. The direction is really good. Everything is really good about this movie. I can't complain about anything besides the point that Mr. Rogers is a supporting character, and that made me so mad in this movie. Jeez Louise, that made me so mad in this movie that he was a supporting character. I don't understand why said film company, who I won't name because they've already been going through enough stuff and headaches this year, that if I bring this up, there'll just be another strike, especially against another. No, we're not going to bring up the film studio that made this decision. All I need to know is why would we name a movie A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood and make Mr. Rogers a supporting character in it? Just why? I mean, again, Matthew Rhys is pretty good in this movie. Christopher Cooper's really good. The wife, Susan Watson, she's really good. Like, the performances are spot on. Tom Hanks absolutely nails Mr. Rogers to the T. And yet, all you do in this movie is sit and you want more and more of him. And you want him to go more to his life. And you never really get that in this movie. Like, we get glimmers and hopes of it. Like, he may dwell deep into his life because the kind of reporter that Lloyd is, maybe he'll pull it out of him and we'll get a great Mr. Rogers story. In turn, we get Mr. Rogers transforming his life. Yay. Like, yay. He might as well have been Bagger Vance instead of Mr. Rogers in this one. And it didn't matter. Again, the movie's good. I can't say it's not good. I won't let my personal feelings cloud my judgment on how good a film is. If I had to give it a rating out of 4 stars, I would say it's a 4-star movie. It is really good. You're just going to be super disappointed that Mr. Rogers is the supporting character in this movie, geez, you're gonna be just as mad as I am, because I know I'm irritated after sitting through there, and then when you get to the end, you're like, wow, you know what this movie could have used more of? Tom Hanks as Mr. Rogers. That would have been even better. Instead, we gotta settle for what we get. We get a great performance from Tom Hanks that should land him Best Supporting Actor. I'm pretty sure said movie studio that begins with an S will push him for lead actor instead, when they should be clearly putting him in the category of supporting actor here. But this has been JVS's disappointing review, and only from the standpoint that Mr. Rogers is not in the film enough, of A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Please, again, check it out for yourself. Maybe you'll like it and just be able to overlook the point that Mr. Rogers ain't in it. I can't do that, because I was a little mad, especially after seeing a documentary last year. But, hey, to each his own. Hopefully you all will like the film, because, again, still full of great performances. Peace, people.